to bring in sustainability in the transportation sector? I'd like to hear on that.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Rajeev, Managing Director of Kerala Automobiles Limited. Kerala Automobiles started in 1978 and commercial production started in 1984. We are a 46 years old company. We were manufacturing diesel, petrol and CNG autos, three-wheelers. Now, from 2019 onwards, we started manufacturing electric three-wheelers. We have electric auto, passenger auto and electric cargo vehicles. The passenger auto 3+1 and cargo 310 kg capacity. So this topic is very interesting, and I selected this topic because Kerala Automobiles can do very good association. We can do something in this this topic, building sustainable urban mobility through integrated green transport solutions. When we think about sustainable urban mobility means we have to avoid dependence on fossil fuels. So we have to definitely go for alternate sources. EV is the best choice. So we started in 2019 and till 2024 we have been selling our autos. Now what happened, we are renovating our product. See, initially the mileage was 90 only, 90 kilometers. Now we have increased the capacity of the battery and modernized the vehicle. So we are coming up with a new vehicle. We are planning to, it's in the development stage. We are planning to launch the new vehicle in the coming months. So when we associate with Kochi Metro, we can mainly work on the last mile connectivity. So we can integrate, see there are 25 metro stations in Cochin KMRL, and the water metro has also started. So when my proposal is, if we provide 10 autos for these 25 stations and 10 autos from the passenger points, different points. So total 25 into 10. So 500 autos and charging stations. These 25 metro stations, if we start charging stations also, roughly I'll tell, this price is yet to be finalized, but roughly if I say 4 lakhs, so 500 into 4, roughly 20 crores, then charging stations 10 crores. So we can start with a 30 crore project, and see, actually accessible vehicle is available. This EV is available. People will not depend on vehicles and pollute the air. So I need not tell about the advantages of EV, because it is less pollution. There is no pollution, and the running cost is very less. Initial investment is also less, because EV normally GST is very less. Instead of 18%, 5% is the GST. And this maintenance cost is very less. And because moving parts are very less. So I think Kerala Automobiles can associate with Kochi Metro and do something in this last mile connectivity.
Thank you, Mr. Rajeev, for the insightful thoughts. I will shift to Sheikh Samim now. Samim, I'm slightly confused. I don't know whether the audience are also not, because earlier in the day we saw railway was the second best option with respect to the non-polluting environment. And now Mr. Rajeev coming in and saying with EV, I don't know who becomes the better option. You having been, Delhi Metro having been in this transportation segment and taking a lot of initiatives on sustainability, could you run us through some of the major initiatives that you have taken with respect to sustainability in Delhi Metro?
True. Thank you for the opportunity. Good afternoon, everyone. By virtue, I must say that public transport is one of the most sustainable transportation system. Most sustainable transportation system available, right? And once we are talking about sustainability in Delhi Metro, it has been one of the major focus of us. It has been the mission of us to be one of the most sustainable system in the world. So what we have primarily done is we have started from solar energy. We have tried to capture as much as solar energy as possible. Now Delhi Metro is running around 30% of its entire operation, electrical operation, in solar energy. Apart from that, we have regenerative braking systems, and our metro station, each and every metro station of phase 3 that we have done is platinum rated of IGBC certified. Apart from that, we have taken a lot of initiative in plantation of green spaces. We have a Prakriti Park in DMRC's campus in Shastri Park. Apart from that, we have tried to conserve a lot of water with the effect of rainwater harvesting systems. And in fact, if you see, there is a IIT Roorkee report where we have enhanced the groundwater level of Delhi because of recharging. So yeah, altogether, in short, I must say that Delhi Metro has been a pioneer in a stepping stone for putting all other metros to look out how to pave the way of sustainability.
Thank you. Now, it doesn't matter what the mode of transport is, whether it is the EV or the metro. At the end of the day, user experiences depend on the kind of traffic that one faces. Sure. And here I would want to hear from Asharaf, because you kind of emerge as the regulator or regulator of the traffic. And we have had this previous session, the DIG is talking about the three-wheelers, electric three-wheelers on road. At least in my experience from Delhi, there are menace. I don't know how you are handling them in Kochi. So can we have your insights on them?
Thank you, sir. Good evening. In response to the growing urbanizations and traffic congestions in Kochi, several innovative traffic management strategies and initiatives are being implemented to ease congestions and encourage the use of green transport solutions. Among these strategies that we have recently implemented in the major pressure points in the cities like Kalamashiri, TVS, HMT, areas, junctions, and Kusat, Edapalli toll, Edapalli junctions, that a free flow roundabout traffic systems. At this juncture, we have to find that the major problems in the traffic congestions in the city was the vehicular movement. The volume of the vehicles was very high. Among this, the three-wheelers also plays a major part. Compared to the Delhi city, in Kochi, we have a number of about 5,000 to 6,000 traditionally on fossil fuel powered vehicles. But after the coming of electric three-wheelers, the result is very changing. The pollution rate is very low. And Cochin Metro Limited has played a vital role in promoting electric three-wheelers, because the commuters coming or using the metro rail, actually the feeder systems, the three-wheeler feeder systems are very useful for them. And we encourage electric motor vehicles in Kochi city, by which we can reduce the rate of pollution. Now, after the traffic reformations at Kalamashiri, the rate of emissions, the pollution has been considerably reduced from 96% to 36%. So it is a boon to the Kochi city.
Tremendous.
Thanks.
That's wonderful music to ears for at least those who are probably looking at sustainability and betting on the, it should be music to ears even for Mr. Rajeev over here. I will move on to Nitin from Sistra. Nitin, you have heard what existing players in the transportation sector, DMRC, are doing. What is the roadmap of people who are in the industry from Kochi, Kerala Automobiles, the huge upswing or thumbs up that we are getting from the transport, your traffic department. What else are the commercial offerings that you have which can help augment this path towards sustainability?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I want to thank elets and Kochi Metro for giving me the opportunity. And after hearing all experts, it is quite challenging and difficult to answer your questions, but still, like you want to know more some sustainability and increasing the revenue. The non-fare box collection revenue we should increase, like bifacial solar panels we are trying to use in viaduct to increase the energy requirements. Also, the last mile connectivity already we are discussing, but here I want to add one more thing, the autos which are being used as a feeder services. So sharing is not there in, so it is highly recommended to allow sharing of the autos so that cost of transport will be reduced. Otherwise in all cities, other cities, any city you can take, it is allowed. Here also I request the concerned authorities to take that. In addition to that, EVs means e-bikes. E-bike is very innovative idea that one person want to move for a shorter distance, he need not to return that. He will park it near his house wherever the stand is there. So it is very convenient, no investment for the rental, and cycles are already there. We should socially encourage the people to use it by giving the demos, awareness. All this is required. That's all from my end as of now.
Thank you. That's a very interesting proposition of e-bikes. I, for one, have had the fortunate and unfortunate experience of both spectrums. On one side, when I was in Tel Aviv, I saw responsible use of e-bikes where people used to unlock it themselves, pay for the use, park it at the respective place, and then move away so that the citizens are not inconvenienced by my particular use. On the other hand, we have this national capital of ours where e-bikes could be found at all places other than where they're supposed to be. So they're not accessible to people. One reason could be scarcity, other reason could be probably the adoption or the way the thing has been handled. But I'll move to Dr. Samim. So ma'am, academia is generally the torch bearer of any technology, any initiative that is a long-term initiative. My particular opinion on this is, at least the space segment I can relate. My first paper, which my professor guided me in 2007 on satellite personal communication network, is likely to fructify today. So almost I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is there's a lead time of almost 2 decades. If I were to request you to crystal gaze 2030 for us, because that is where we are looking at net zero, what does academic research tell us or academic observation tell us that are we there? How far are we? Or what course correction may be required?
A very good evening to the audience and the renowned panelists here. Thank you for that question, sir, and I am expressing my gratitude for this invitation also. So very rightly posed question from sir. I represent the academia here, and thinking about all the discussions that have happened from morning, when we talk about sustainable mobility solutions for cities or urban cities, there is a lot of academic research already in place which studies or investigates the solutions which are energy efficient and environmental friendly. But one thing which is somewhere missing largely is the social inclusion aspect probably. So we have heard people talking about integrated mobility transit hubs. We have heard about app-based integrated platforms for last mile connectivity, for ticketing services, feeder services. We also heard about the infrastructure development in terms of the last mile to improve last mile connectivity. We have heard of special lanes for bicycle operation and vehicles, etc. So in all this, when we talk about public transport and the huge impetus today when we are talking about sustainability, what is the way forward where we encourage all individuals to switch to this public mode of transport? There is a huge gap where we need to educate people on the ways in which public transport could lead to a sustainable mode of mobility in the long run. So that social inclusion somewhere is missing. And I am saying this in the light of a study which is already underway, which is an ICSSR sponsored research, and Jain University is undertaking this study. In this particular study, we are doing a multidimensional analysis of the Kochi water metro services, wherein we are trying to assess the socio-economic dimensions, the feasibility in terms of the built of the ship, and also the commuter perception. How far the commuter feels that this kind of a water-based commuting facility is feasible for a daily commute. In Kochi specifically, this water-based transportation mode, the Kochi Water Metro, is a huge innovation and it is being applauded across the country. But what is the possibility of replicating this solution to other urban cities where similar rivulets or river bodies are available? Whether this will be supported by last mile connectivity, will there be a social inclusion which helps to make this service more sustainable, is where the research gap lies. So that is my submission to the panel.
Thank you, ma'am. That word research gap actually rings a lot of bells, and I'm kind of jittered out of my present situation. But you talked about social inclusion. Another social aspect which probably I want Mr. Rajeev to address, I don't know if many have thought about it. We are riding the wave, maybe the technology wave right now, where we're talking of electric bikes, electric scooters. So there's a lot of electricity and drivers of electric vehicles available, basically in terms of batteries and new technologies of batteries. What happens at the end of life cycle of these batteries? Where do we hit? Do they have a social impact? Are we actually going the sustainable green way, or are we deferring the whole thing by a decade or so?
That is an area where more research has to be done. But this technology, in India, this EV technology came later only. So our company started 5 years back only. So minimum life, for EV, it will be 8 to 10 years. So after that only we have to think about, we will face that problem, but we have to think about that. There are recycling technologies, mainly this battery, remaining everything can be recycled. This battery also can be recycled. Researches are going on. We have to wait till the better result comes out. So in between, I have to mention one more thing. As he said, our company has tied up with a Bombay-based company for making two-wheelers. We are also venturing into two-wheeler manufacturing also.
Wonderful, thank you. I come back to Samim. Samim, again, I have the same probably challenge I'll throw to you. Crystal gaze into the future. Having achieved what you have achieved, what more can be achieved in urban transportation towards contribution to sustainability and achieving net zero?
With the vision of 2030, we are going forward towards sustainable development and net zero that we call off. See, the basic thing we have to try and understand is that how we are going to achieve end-to-end solution to it. It cannot be just that I am procuring electricity and it doesn't come from a sustainable way. It has to come from a sustainable way. The production has to be sustainable. That we talk about scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3 production, right? So we have a vision that we are going to procure electricity which is more sustainable in nature, right? And then how to replicate it throughout the system in DMRC. What we're trying to do is we are trying to optimize our systems so that we consume less power, and then we are trying to generate revenue out of some of the system and some of the spaces that we have so that we become more sustainable. So sustainable cannot be just in one manner, like we are having green buildings alone. It should be financial sustainability, it should be operational sustainability, and it should be a maintenance sustainability also. So we are in the vision of that. Our MD has a big vision to make it sustainable through and through, and we are slowly working towards it. Yeah.
Thank you, Samim. Asharaf, I come back to you. the challenge that I threw to Mr. Rajeev, what are we looking at, especially in terms of awareness initiatives from the traffic department towards one, increasing adoption of greener technologies, and second, these kind of issues which may preparedness of the traffic department, or for that matter even the law enforcement in general, with respect to this chemical and e-waste which may be generated in a decade's time.
Thank you, sir. Educating the public about the benefits of integrated and green transport solutions have been an essential part of the city's strategy to promote sustainable urban mobility. The authorities, including the police department, local self-government and education institutions, have launched a series of awareness campaigns to promote the commuter behavior, especially in the Kochi cities. We are very backward compared to the road manners to the rest of the world. By raising awareness and encouraging an eco-friendly transport options, we have to make them more and more responsible by giving lectures, speeches, or seminars, etc., etc. Public awareness campaigns on sustainable transport is one of the most prominent tools being used to shift commuter behavior as well as the attitude of the people. Media, we can use the media outreach such as the use of newspapers, radio stations, TV channels, and social media platforms to spread the messages about the importance of eco-friendly commuting. These campaigns focus on environmental impacts and the health benefits of the cycling or walking, and the advantages of using public transportations or private cars. I have witnessed recently that after the implementation of the traffic reforms at Kalamashiri, that single driver's cars, about 58 cars have been passed through before my eyes within 60 seconds, sir. Especially on a rainy day, the number is vehemently increasing. This is a pathetic situation. So we have public transport systems, very good public transport systems after the Kochi Metro Rail Corporations, but we are reluctant to use these kinds of innovations and public transport systems. We are very comfortable in our own AC cars. That's a problem of the Malayalis are facing. And then we can also use display informational materials in public places as well as in bus stops, metro stations, and roadways, and educating the commuters on how to use the city's integrated transport system effectively. Thus, we can reduce traffic congestions and air pollution. Thank you.
Thank you. Nitin, come back to you. Sustainability will require a lot of investment, it appears. Some study somewhere told 840 billion is what is the figure, at least in the Indian context. Where do you think the PPP model or government infusion of monetary incentives, what is going to work?
Yeah, you see, micro PPP is there nowadays. It has a lot of opportunities. Micro investors are there. We have to open the doors for them. Otherwise, it is going to be quite difficult for the government to do investment, capital investment everywhere. Like every station, like 25 station we have, wherever we have land, so there we should allow small investors to use that space temporarily, like our football matches are there. So in those duration, the days, we can allow our open spaces to install the small stalls for selling those jackets. Nowadays, anyway, they are using footpaths, no revenue to the KMO. So instead of that, we have to encash. Officially, we should allow that. This is one of the thing, and rightly one of panelists told that awareness, social awareness. Now digital e-ticketing is available. but people are not using it. So we strongly, we have to, by all means, advertisement, dramas, social media we have to use, we have to educate the passengers who are coming to use the non-paper e-tickets. Like that, there are many items. Even we can give this sourcing third party, that you can educate the people and share something. Share also we can give to them. Like that, micro PPP is the only solution nowadays. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Nitin. I come back to ma'am. So, ma'am, first we crystal gazed into the future where social inclusion emerged as something of importance. What are the immediate steps that industry and academia can collaborate to probably address or expedite this sustainability achievement targets?
Thank you, sir. As an immediate insight into that question, I feel that academia has a very important role to play when it comes to identifying the right kind of problems that society actually faces. Because the industry is there to provide solutions, but the actual problems may not be identified correctly, and probably when the solutions are implemented, the right problems are not addressed. So that is where the academia actually plays a very important and vital role, where research and student-based internships could actually play an important and vital role in identifying the right kind of challenges which society is facing. When I say social inclusion, there are many aspects to social inclusion. When I say circularity of economy and all these aspects that we have discussed from morning regarding the multimodal transport facilities and integrated services, there again includes circularity can be an important way forward. But if we have to include circular economic practices to make the transportation solution sustainable, we need to identify different groups which can be integrated into this cycle, into this value creation cycle. So to give you an example, in case of Kochi Water Metro itself, where the Kochi e-boats traverse that stretch of the water, it was previously probably used by the fishermen community. And because of the plying of these e-boats, there is a vast community which has got in some way or the other affected. So are we doing something to rehabilitate that audience, or are we educating them in ways in which they can mitigate the challenges they are facing at the moment? So these are some issues which probably when we go in for implementation of advanced technological solutions for urban mobility, we are missing out. Similarly, there is a huge tourism angle also to it. When we talk about Kochi Water Metro services, which are at the moment linking some remote island areas. These are the places where the tourists probably hang out the most, and they are being catered to by private boat owners who were operating previously. Now, has their business got affected? Is there something which we can do to again rehabilitate those individuals? Even in the metro boat jetties, do we have facilities where, or there is scope for opening up the spaces for some private players to start small businesses? So those kind of aspects can only be, these questions can only be answered if there is a systematic research being implied in these areas. So that is where the academia has a huge role to play in identifying correctly what are the social aspects for which technology as well as industry could play a role as a feasible solution. So that is my submission, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to thank all my panelists for the insightful thoughts that they have shared on the subject. Sustainability is no longer an option. That is the only way forward, and there can be no backtracking on it. Before I actually close the panel, if we have time, just put one or two questions for the audience. One or two questions from the audience. Caution. Can I have a mic here in the first row?
About scope 1, scope 2 or scope 3? Because scope 1 is achievable. Scope 2 slightly difficult. Scope 3, I don't think so.
I didn't touch upon the scope portion because the intricacy of scope actually, when I'm talking net zero, honestly, sir, though one of the panelists could address, but I just want to touch upon it because it's again an area of interest close to my heart. What I can control is what is in my control. So what India can address is only a particular segment of the scope, and what is extra outside the boundaries of India is something you can't do much. So that is what. So, you would want to add something?
What Sarah has said is a very valid question. I think that's why we have 30, 47 and 70, right? So we have a trajectory to move on, and maybe policies will come up to address those scopes, how effectively we can manage those. And we are very positive with the vision that our Prime Minister has, along with the other head of the departments of each department. They are totally focused on that, and there are several policies that are coming up. And I think for 2030, I think we will be targeting scope 1 as of now.
Thank you. Any other questions? Can I have a mic? In the interest of the time, this will be last question.
Myself, Arun Kumar Srivastav from Sistra. My question is from Madam. Madam told me, just told to the audience that social studies needs to be done. That is okay. But we cannot stay longer for a social sustainability, because the lower, the poor people has to come up. Any facilities what is given to the common people is nothing, never comes free. One will have to pay. If additional facility is given to anybody, the government is not responsible to make it for lower cost. So for me, nothing is free. So it has some cost. So those people who are suffered actually, they should be given another opportunity to come up. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that question. When I mentioned social inclusion, actually the implication is not to provide any of these services free of cost. But when I say social inclusion, in all our implementation or solutions for urban or sustainable mobility, there are several players who are privy to the implications of those policy changes and the technological changes that we are bringing on as a mode of transport, as a way of life. So the social inclusion comes in when we mitigate all those negative implications which are affecting people surrounding the new policy changes. Just like I mentioned, the fishermen community. Probably they are local residents of those island areas where the Kochi water metro services are at the moment functional. They may not be the ones who are using the water metro services at all. But social inclusion for them means that by the operation of those e-boats, if they are also benefited in some way or the other, maybe they get more business, maybe they get more freight services in some way, or the facilities the jetty facilities are in some way giving them an opportunity to look for alternate business. That is what is social inclusion that I mentioned. We cannot think of providing all these advanced mobility services at cheaper cost. Definitely the industry will have to have a break even somewhere. But when we talk about sustainability of a service, social inclusion definitely cannot be ignored. That is my point, sir. I hope I have answered your question.
I will second her thoughts. In fact, I might go a step further. Born in a place called Sindri, Jharkhand now, that time Bihar, one of the most mined places in the country. Father was with National Aluminium, went to another place called in Odisha, Damanjodi, again mined. Nobody over there asked you to come and mine. So your definition of growth actually caused agony to people who are not even interested in that. So government has a responsibility either through subsidies or rehabilitation. There is no escaping that. So that is my 2 cents on it. Thank you.